Monday's going to hit a little different, guys.
Yeah.
that Monday's going to hit a little different, y'all. Let me get it in, but you know
smell a victory.
Sniff it up a little bit.
Yeah, get it.
Just embrace it a little bit, everybody. Embrace it a little bit. Lots to dive into, lots to talk about with this game. Get the likes, get the shares up. Let it build up. Let's talk about it. You know what it is. You know what it is. Victory Monday on deck. Victory Monday on deck. You already know. Not only Victory Monday on deck, but next Monday gets a little bit more spicy for us. A little bit more spicy. You know what it is, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hey, ain't mad at that either. Let's get into it, guys. So first and foremost, let's get something off the board. This 18 game straight without winning a game. If we don't score 30 points, let's put it to bed. Let's get it out of here. It's a dead issue. It's over.
Holiday.
I mean, bro, like ding dong, the witch is dead. We finally accomplished it, Cowboys Nation. We won a game without scoring 30 points. Feels pretty good, right? Feels pretty good. Now, the defense, and then we're going to talk about a lot of things. But something I want to get y'all real quick on, and we'll kind of spin this around. Man, I tell you what, during the game, even some of the post game, I still saw a lot of chatter like, man, this defense is still blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, hold on for a second. Let's hold up. We were down 3 starters on defense, and maybe you could cheat and say 4 if you want to count Kelvin Joseph.
Right.
2 defensive ends, safety, and a corner. That would be a death knell. Guys, remember when Sean Lee would miss a game? We're like, well, it's going to be a tough one. And we found a way. Claude got turnovers. The 2 things we always been talking about here for a long time, turnovers, points per game. Got a couple more turnovers, won the turnover battle. And finally, the points of the game came along with it with only 14. So I'm not here. Look, yes, there's some things we want to clean up and get better, pass rush. Although Parsons, Jesus, H Christmas.
Right.
But guys, the defense, though, I mean, as much as we rail the defense, I'm like, hey, maybe it's a little bit of credit, J Tuck.
Right. And I'll say the one thing about this defense, you mentioned already, Nix, the defense, they fight. Like, that's the one thing about these players going from last year to this year. They're showing some type of fight out. Well, now, Spoon, come on now. Whoa, Spoon. whoa, Spoon. Let's not push it. But, the effort is out there. They're still flying around making plays. And so things will drastically improve as we go throughout the season. But the effort is there. The hustle to the ball is there. Forcing turnovers, it's all there, man. And I definitely like what I saw, man. My guy, Professor O, he's going to join us here in a little bit. But J-Ron Curse, man, he was possessed out there. Micah Parsons playing a new position, possessed out there. So I like what I see. Osa, like the list goes on and on, man. So hats off to Dan Quinn and this defense.
Another thing, Dom, as we got rid of winning a game without scoring, at least 30 points. Another thing, right? 21 games without an opening touchdown drive. We went ahead and banished that as well too. Spoony, this defense, man. You ready to give it up a little bit for this defense, man?
Oh, hell yes. Listen, we're talking about good as safety play.
Yeah.
Safety play. Shout out to Mendoza. Shout out to Professor O, who will be joining us soon. Those are the 2 guys that I know for sure that were screaming about Javon Curse. Watch Javon Curse. Watch Javon Curse. And boy, did he show up. I'm sorry. That was an interception. That was an interception he had. Strictly. Listen, hats out to this defense. The one thing that we spoke about in Stargate last week was how are we going to deal with the loss of D-Law. Right. And, I was one of the ones that came out and said, it could be a blessing or curse, right? And I said the blessing part about it is young guys stepping up. Today, we seen some young names on that depth chart that we wanted to see come and play, and they played today. Listen, this was a very good game, and I like games like this. Why? Because these are the games where you see the young guys step up to the plate. Right. These are the times where you see how Dak Prescott knows how to manage his offense for victory, where a plan's in place. Today's Sunday, right?
It is Sunday, sir. Let's I'm check.
Sorry, Lord. Where we don't fuck up. We go out there for that field goal.
Okay.
We go out there for that field goal.
It's all right,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't forget, I am so sorry. But again, Terrence Steele played like his last name. He must have heard my Spoonies minute last week. But I'll tell you this right now. This was a great victory. I like close games like this because it really tells you about your team moving forward. And next week, Star Gang and CFO will be at Dallas.
Yeah. We'll be turning up for sure. Roberto with the super chat says a win is a win. Let's go. Parsons and TP, baby, talking about that guy, Tony Pollard. And look, let's dive into Tony Pollard a little bit, guys. We shared a little bit of love over here with the defense. Let's talk about Mr. Pollard for a second. I'm gonna dial this up here. So Pollard 13 carries, 1 touchdown. Now, Zeke, 16 carries for 71. So Pollard averaging 8.4, Zeke a 4.4 average. And in the passing game, Pollard 3 catches for 31 for a 10.3 average. Zeke with 2 for 26 with a 13 average. Something that we've talked about for the past couple of years, right, is seeing the mix. Can we get the mix right with them?
Right.
Boy, they found the mix today. And we talked about this leading up. If y'all tuned in Wednesday, we talked about, okay, week 1, we couldn't run the ball. They attacked the team like they're supposed to. We looked at it on you had a video as well up about it, Tuck. We talked about it Wednesday night, like, okay, this team will let you run the ball, so you got to take what they're going to give you. And boy, masterful in that way, because we wanted to see if it was going to be just air this bit out no matter what, and that's just what it is, or are they going to really adapt game to game, team to team? And we saw a completely different game plan this week from them, and they executed it, even with Collins out, and great job right by Steele. They did a great job with some chips. They did a great job. Tight ends, to me, and I'll go back and watch it some more, but tight ends did a much better job blocking this week than they did last week, right? But man, that mixture of Pollard and letting Zeke get in there and do some things too, guys. For me, that's super exciting because we did see it last week. We saw them at times they were both in the backfield last week, and they turned it up another notch because they knew they could do something with that. Right. Encouraging for you moving forward here, guys. Is this who we always say it takes us about 4 games to really find out who we are, but 2 stark differences, right? This week we had 31 rushes versus 27 passes, I believe. Yeah. Right. 31 rushes versus 27, unlike last week, which was 58 passes versus 18 runs. So is this going to be game to game, just depending on who we're playing? Are we buying that philosophy now, Tuck?
I do now, because and I was saying that after the Bucs game, is that we'll see everything that we needed to do week 2, because we felt like the way that we were going to take advantage of the Chargers was running the football a little bit more. And so the fact that Kellen Moore adjusted his game plan is completely different than what we saw last Thursday night. And so I feel like it's going to be week by week, and with the weapons that we had, it really throws the defense off, because I think he caught the Bucs by surprise. It's like, oh damn, we got to deal with this too. And so I think that's what we're going to see. So the game change is going to be based on our opponents on a week by week basis. But I like the game plan today. I mean, there were some cases where Kellen Moore got a little cute.
Always 35 in, trying to run the swinging game. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And I'll talk about Asante here in a second, man. But for the most part, I like the game plan. He got a little cute for the most part, but we were more effective in the red zone. I like what we see, because I think that's who we really are when we get to the core things, is being that more balanced to keep the defense off kilter, because they don't know if we're going to run the ball. And like you said, man, Tony Pollard adds a new dimension to our offense, which I've been banging the table for years. And finally, we see Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott on the field at the same time. It could work because he has so many different things to worry about. So it's going to be interesting to see how Kellen Moore utilizes that moving forward.
Real quick, T-Bone says the refs helped y'all. The refs and the refs hurt us too, because we had interception taken away that shouldn't have been, but neither here nor there. Spoonie, are we buying that we're like the Bruce Lee saying, be water, my friend? If it's a cup, it's a cup. We're going to fill that cup. If it's a bowl, we're going to be a bowl. Is this the maturation? Are we seeing the maturation of Kellen Moore now with the handcuffs off a little bit, of saying, okay, I'm looking at the team and wherever the best way to attack them, I feel comfortable either way. Is this going to be a week-to-week thing for us now?
Yes, I believe so. Especially where we have injuries and how we adapt. Every time for the first game of the season, going back when Zach Martin was out, what did we hear? That's to get down 50 times. We shouldn't play that game. X, Y, right. We see. We need to set the first game. The second game, I think that was set by 2 times today, and that was towards the third or fourth quarter. I mean, that's pretty impressive for the first half. And it looked like pretty much they had both of them in check. At the same time, they was able to execute their plays on offense. And to me, that was a real plus. Yes, I agree with Tug. There was times where they got a little bit too cute. But at the end of the day, man, these guys came to play. I was very happy with Pollard and Zeke, the way they utilized both of them. We all know that Pollard is a very shifty guy, very speed. His attack is much quicker than Zeke. And the way they utilized both of them was great today. These are some of the things that we have struggled with in the past with the other staff that was here. And now, little by little, we should feel good that this is a different type of team that we've been praising for a long time. And I say to come on the road and play a Chargers team who beat the Washington football team last week in their house, and we come in here and pretty much we settled in, and one at the end was huge, especially also losing last week the way we lost. So
Right.
it was pretty much a bend, don't break. Last week is last week. Let's move on. And I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. These young guys are they're playing. They're playing.
Yeah. I mean, and again, look, we can cherry pick some things, pressure up the middle, different things of that ilk. But that's not what we're going to do tonight. Bro, I mean, not too much anyways. We might get into it some. But I'm on, and look, talking about how Terrence Steele played. Look, Jalen was a little bit expanded role, and Jalen played pretty well today as well, too. Good on the coverage for the most part. He got a good stop on third short, even though they went for it in fourth and got it. LVE was playing well, so the linebackers really came to play today as well, especially they had to because Ruckus Parsons was basically playing defensive end force for the majority of the time. Even Neil popped a couple of plays and had some good stuff. So the middle of the defense does worry me some. Pass coverage is a little too soft. But back to the Kellen Moore thing and whatnot in his play calling, the thing that I liked was, boy, he came out the gate and his script was awesome. Then he kind of lost his way a little bit. A little bit. And I mean, we're running the ball, things are happening, but the game was just kind of up and down with different things that were happening. And they just found that momentum again towards the end. Again, I just thought it seemed like they never panicked. They were well executed. We'll talk about some. There's some different things, there towards the end with the clock that we weren't privy to till after the game, like the clocks were out in the stadium. So a tick of the way they handled it at the end was, I mean,
that was my concern. I was like, what was going on? Like it didn't make sense. And I mean, that's something the NFL has to look into because at that moment of the game, that could have been costly with the clocks going out of the stadium. They were talking about this beautiful jumbotron and how much it weighed and all this stuff. Well, it doesn't work when you need it to work. And so if that's the situation, I feel like they need to be held accountable for that, man. But, luckily it worked out in our favor because it could have been handled wrong. I mean, if you watch my video I dropped, I was screaming like, what are we doing? Like, like I didn't know what was going on, but, Greg Leg came through for us, man. But those are the games, Cowboys Nation, we have to win. Like those close, nitty-gritty games where it's going back and forth. We have to find a way to win. And traditionally, the Cowboys have lost those games in a lot of cases. And so it was good to finally be on the opposite end of one.
Yeah, and Mike McCarthy after the game said he's never been in that situation where the clocks were just out. So it was a little weird. And that's why it looked a little wonky and some different things happened there at the end. Quick question here says, are you going forward? Do you think this game changed the trajectory of Micah's career? I think our idea was that we could use him for the way we can use him has drastically changed after today. He can be a Vaughn or a Ray. I mean, I don't know if it's really drastically changed. I mean, I think the idea was always to use him. We kind of saw it in preseason, right, guys? Like we kind of saw him. He was moved around a little bit everywhere. He's just kind of that glue. Like, okay, we need you here this game. I bet he can do that. And then the next thing, if they need him somewhere else, he can do that. I don't think this is something where we're going to look at long term. Like, okay, well, he's just here now, and that's what it's going to be. But I think at this point, with D-Law, he's going to probably get used a little bit more in that role because, man, Spoonie. Parsons was giving him. I mean, they could have called about 4 or 5 different holds on Parsons. I swear to God, like he was getting off on them. So, I mean, you're muted, Spoon. But do you think, Spoon? Do you think this is a trajectory changing game, or what do you think?
No, I just think the way where they're gonna use him is the same situation as they use Bruce Irvin. They use him kind of the same way they use him at linebacker, sometimes at pass rush. Put his hand in the dirt, sometimes off ball. But the thing is, this tells about the talent, how talented Michael Parsons is in. He's able to do whatever you need him to do around that front seven, and it's a luxury. And I hope now fans understand why they stuck with that pick at number what we picked. But I'm happy they should understand that why we got Parsons here. And at the end of the day, when it boils down to it, when you see a guy that talented, you were able to now do whatever you want to do on the other side of the ball. Like I love the fact that we saw LVE get more playing time, and he made a huge numbers of play. So by moving Parsons there, other guys stepped up and played their positions, and it was a great look. My favorite play from Parsons was the one where they gave Herbert the sack on the 26-yard line.
Grasp,
in the grasp, the burst. And you saw how fast he just came up there. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So listen,
Yeah. I mean, look, and look, and even if they don't call it in the grass, because I know there was a little controversy somewhat there.
Right.
I mean, the ball never got back to the line of scrimmage. It would have been,
Right.
a intentional grounding flag
Right.
either way. So just either person gets the sack, or you're just going to penalize them, and we're going to move forward anyways. Obviously, at one point during the game, and Tucker, I'll ask you this: if we're going to talk about area concern here, boy, third and longs, man.
Oof.
At one point they were 3 or 4. I think they got to 3 and 5. Now I don't know after that, because that was somewhere towards the end of the third, fourth. But yeah, they were 3 or 5 of 3rd and 10 and longers. Got to find a way to get off the field there.
Absolutely,
pressure helps, but yeah.
And I want to say this about Parsons. I said this earlier this morning. I felt like today it was going to be the light bulb moment for a lot of Cowboys fans of why we drafted Micah Parsons, because he can do so much. And what this little situation is doing for him while DeMarcus Lawrence is currently out, it's just adding more to his skill set. So I feel like moving forward, you will see him playing Mike linebacker, Sam linebacker, defensive, like all over the field, because that's what he really brings to his team. And it's something we have never really had. But yeah, going back to that Knicks, man, the third down, especially the third and distance, got to get off the field, man. That play, I mean, Herbert was throwing a strike there, and Diggs even tipped it, and Keenan Allen still caught it. But those are the situations that you got to take advantage of. And we'll probably talk about this here as well. Fossil, bro, I don't know, man. Special teams, bro. I don't know, man, because it's just like in that situation, why are you even going for the block? Like, just you had CeeDee Lamb back there, you had him backed up. Like, you cannot give up that penalty in that type of situation. But he's so aggressive. You have to be preaching this to your special teams in that moment. So yeah, but these third and longs, we definitely have to get off the field, even third downs. But I'll say this to kind of, the glimmer of hope is that you're going to see the caliber of quarterbacks kind of start to teeter off a little bit. So we should be okay until maybe November. But yeah, I mean, if we're looking about anywhere that defense can improve, that would definitely be the spot, because it was just like, come on, bro.
Bro, we got like a 3rd and 12, 15. Like, this just at that point, look, I get it. Look, you're going to give some 3rd and 5s, you give some 3rd and 4s. I mean, those things happen. But once we're 10 and long, man, you got to find a way to close that deal and get off. And then, unfortunately, as you're speaking there, they do finally get off. Oh, well, let's go run into the punter, and not just run into him. Let's go ahead and make sure it's 15-yard variety. So let's make sure we knock his head off so he can go all the way and get to the first down and whatnot. I'm just like, my goodness. I'm like, yeah, we talked about special teams last week, and special teams definitely. I mean, even there towards the end, right? Pollard brings it out. What happens? Holding. I'm like, now we got to start from the 13.
Yeah, it's like, man, just calm down, because you clearly saw it from last week, because Fossil has said he was telling Greg the leg to kick it, but not into the back of the end zone, which we got ate up this year. So obviously, seeing this game, Greg was easily kicking out the top of the end zone, which limits those mistakes. And so you don't have to be so aggressive. I know it's kind of you're making your idea, but bro, just take a knee, give the offensive ball back. But you put ourselves in situations, man. But luckily we came out with this win. But those,
I was gonna say, thank God, he was pipes today. Greg the leg was pipes from, what was it, 56 right there at the end? Ooh. I mean, I tell you what, I hate when he kicks, because it's always going over here, but it's doing that curve thing. Yeah, I'm like, I can't even look, man. I can't look. Oh man, pick 6, Lamar Jackson, ouch back. And Tom, I was doing the game. I was like, no wonder the Rams let Fossil leave. I see now why. Right. I'm like, what is going on here?
Just to have a normal, solid special teams. That's enough. Just be normal.
Solid. Yeah. Just be solid, guys.
Be boring.
Yeah, okay. Be bland. Look, we don't even want to know your names. That's how you're supposed to do this thing, because if you're talking about them, usually it's done in a positive way for the most part, and it hasn't been that way. But let's highlight, then let's go back and highlight Curse some. We kind of talked about it a little bit, and I'm seeing some guys jump in here with some questions about Curse. My guy Aaron here is like, do you guys think Curse can start at the other safety position? I mean, he started today.
My guy Pete Prescott. My guy Pete here.
Yeah, where's Pete at? Yeah, where's Pete at? That's all right, Pete. You know what? The Pete's not going to show up after that game. You already know. Shout out to our guy Pete, though. But no, I mean, hey, and back to what Spoonie said about Matt O and Elzar, really talking this guy up. It goes back to some things that I talked about with these guys that they brought as free agents that Dan Quinn did. He had a specific role for these guys. Mm-hmm. That's what we saw Watkins even out there today and get helping the run game. Right. So he had a specific role for these guys. And man, I tell you, Curse today, man. Wilson out, bro.
Take your time.
Lights out. lights out. I mean, whether he was blitzing, right, and causing the issue where Armstrong almost gets the interception to he jumped the guy, almost got the interception, the tip ball that should have been the interception, but some ref tomfoolery because we didn't get the same call on Coop on fourth down. Yeah, I mean, he flashed. I mean, him and Michael Parsons were everywhere today.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, for my money, I mean, he can. I mean, definitely. The best thing about this is, for 1 year, we've kind of turned over our safety position. Now it sucks because all these guys are basically outside of Wilson on 1 year deals.
Right.
So as this thing moves along, Steven, maybe you need to take some money, maybe lock maybe a guy or two up to keep this strong safety play. But how'd you say it? Take your time.
Just take your time, Donovan. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're fully healthy. Don't rush it. Don't rush back. Don't rush back.
Yeah, don't rush back. Just we want you at 100%, sir.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Malik Hooker.
Do what?
Malik Hooker. Did you just see that sack by Malik Hooker?
Oh yeah, shot the gap. Yeah, Hooker.
It was just foreign territory to have amazing safety play. As a Cowboys fan, like I didn't, KZ with the I'm just not used to it yet, Spoon.
I want to shed a tear. I really want to shed a tear.
And we're not even talking about KZ for the second time 2 weeks in a row. Huge turnover in the red zone / end zone, forcing the fumble last week to give us a chance. And we did go down and take the lead. We just left a little too much time on the clock. And this week, the huge interception in the end zone to let us, stay in it and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, even from KZ's standpoint, and what he's coming in to do, as Professor's hot take as he comes in here, his preseason prediction was
KZ for Pro Bowl.
There it is, KZ for the Pro Bowl. And the first 2 weeks, he has definitely provided some spark and some timely turnovers for us. So what are we up to now, guys? Six turnovers in 2 weeks. Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah.
Ooh, MVP. I mean, we average 3 turnovers a week, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we get pretty. These get a little spicy. Professor, I know you've been listening to everything. I'm gonna give you a chance, a little space to jump on in here. I know you probably got a couple of things we haven't touched on. Floor is yours, sir. Whatever you want to kind of point or mention about the game, and we'll kind of balance off of you.
I mean, I have to commend you guys. You guys have held it down and said pretty much what I would have said earlier. So I don't really have too much to chime in aside from I put it on Twitter, and I truly mean this. I really do believe that KZ and Kerr should be our starting safeties moving forward. And fans of Donovan Wilson, don't take that as a big deal because Hooker played a lot today and he didn't start. And we saw the same thing the first game that Kerr played a lot when he didn't start. So we're going to play 3 and 4 safeties. Doesn't really matter too much who's starting, but I really do believe that those are our 2 best safety options right now. I mean, you just Curse was all over the place in the run game, in pass rushing, in coverage. I mean,
blitzing.
I don't want to take him out. Yeah, blitzing as well. So, and then like you guys said, Steele, you got to give him a ton of credit because all week we were hearing, you're gonna have to help with running backs. Zeke's gonna have to be big in pass pro. You're gonna have to chip. You're gonna have to do all these things, and truthfully, those would have been the smart things to do, but we didn't really have to because he held his own. And a lot of Pollard's big runs were to the right, and a lot of Zeke's big runs were also to the right. It wasn't like we had to completely abandon that side of the field to, account for him being a liability. It just wasn't that way. He played really well. So props to him, man. There's been a lot of Terrence Aluminum and jokes like that.
Oh,
so my man played like steel today. So
he played like steel. Like I said, a big shout to the tight ends today. Much better job blocking this week than last week. I don't think that can be stated enough. I mean, they were downfield. Look, there was some good blocking from the wide. Look, I'm kind of talking around. Let me maybe put a bow on this. Is they knew what the game plan was going to be, and they all bought in. Everybody did what they were supposed to do, and you knew, they knew they were going to go in and they were going to be running the ball heavily, and everyone knew they had to go do their job and block. And you saw that from everybody today across the board, which is great. I mean, that's what you want to see, right? As Jock says, am I messing up in y'all's ear? Or am I good?
Yeah, I hear him mess up too. I'm not sure. I know that was
okay. Might have been me. I don't know.
Not me. Is it you, O?
I don't know. I don't hear Nick's anymore.
It's like static. Spoon, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Do you hear static still?
Yeah, I do.
You still hear static?
I do.
I don't hear anything on my side, so it might be me. Let me leave and I'll jump back in.
All right.
Yeah, it's man. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as they deal with the difficulties, we'll say.
Yeah, tuck and smooth.
Okay. All right. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, it was man.
Okay, it was I was trying to say, I had O muted. Came in. I was like, what is going on with O? So, okay, cool. But yeah, man, shout out to the tight ends. Like I said, man, tight ends did a hell of a job and whatnot. So, yeah, big shout out to, and like I said, everyone bought into the program because you saw Lamb out there blocking, you saw Cooper out there throwing some great blocks down the field, and they bought in. And they're buying into whatever the program is each and every week. So,
I think they took personal, because I know Jarwin is kind of felt bad about missing that block versus the Bucs. They kind of had that sentiment that we're going to come in and we're going to block. I mean, yeah, Cooper even laid it down and made a great block. So, yeah, I liked it. It was physical, and I felt like once you're able to do that, you establish the attitude. It's something we've been saying frequently on this channel and also mine. It's like when you're able to kind of play that type of football, like it just transcends throughout the entire offense, man. And that very first drive is like we can punch you in the mouth running it. And if you come up, we're going to air you out and score just that way too as well. So pick your poison however you want it. We're going to give it to you, which I like.
Yeah. You're still Sadiki, Oh, he got real bad on that one. Oh, Lord, he got a bad quarter or something. Yeah. Ooh, that was bad. Yeah. And you know what? And here's the thing for Dak, right? I mean, Dak, dude. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's stupid. He's stupid with it. But I mean, here's the thing from Dak, right? I mean, efficient game from Dak. 23 of 27, 237. He had the pick, a bad pick, right? But we run the ball down there, so we got 2 touchdowns on the backside. Obviously in a couple of field goals. So, CeeDee Lamb 8 for 81. Obviously, now we do have to talk about the non-Hail Mary play. Yeah. He spun, he got out. I'm like, you know what I was thinking when I watched CeeDee Lamb do what he did there? I was like, where's this on punt return whenever you return the punts? You feel me? But I mean, it was not set up, the pitch, and I was like, Zeke stiff arm Derwin, just stiffy. Great, but again, a great play design in that realm, and boy. Wow.
First thing I thought about was where was that versus Tampa Bay? Like I would
well, they let Fossil call the play. Remember, he was on the sideline getting them all together, and they were doing something completely extra. I was like, look, we even get a pitch off against Tampa. Yeah, that was that thing was horrible. But it was an interesting play. I saw Mike McCarthy was going out. He was kind of laughing and chuckling to himself. I'm like, man, this ain't funny. I mean, he didn't score, but I get it. Also showed up a little bit. Like, man. Didn't really see a lot of Urban do a whole lot today.
Not really.
No. Yeah, I mean, outside of Osa here and there, I tell you guys, like, we're just not getting much push in the middle, not to bang on the defense or whatnot. Boy, still feeling a little bit of the effects of Gallimore not being there, right?
But the exciting part about that, I mean, I'm hearing that he's going to be back week 4 now. Gallimore?
Yeah, week 4. Yeah, he's been working out and everything.
Yeah, he's working out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the jury's still out on Tristan Hill, not what the hell he's doing. But I mean, if we get Gallimore back after this Philly game, man, that's going to be a huge boost to our interior.
Big facts.
And so it's going to be interesting because me personally, I would slide Olsen maybe over the end position.
Big. Well, you could. I mean, you could use Gallimore and Bohanna. Technically, if you want to do the 3-man front at the 1, you could kick Urban and Osa on the ends, and then maybe kind of, and then mix that in and get to the more of a 3-4 look if you wanted to. But that's kind of down the line. Back to the safeties, that big nickel, and that's the other thing too, with the safeties being so kind of, I don't want to say interchangeable, but they all kind of bring something to the table that we're really comfortable with, no matter who's back there, right? Boy, that big nickel and getting 3 of them on the field at the same time definitely helps the defense as well too. That's a little bit better, man. I think we're a little bit better now.
I blame it on Goodell.
Okay, fair. I mean, he probably. I mean, you had your tweet out there going in on the NFL for everything happened with Collins, so they're probably hacking you, trying to mute your mouth. You're trying to mute your mouthpiece here a little bit. And I was just kind of talking about the safeties and the fact we're in big nickel. We're so comfortable with the top 4 safeties that we have, and being in that big nickel, having 3 of them on the field at the same time is such a big bonus for us, where we're not caught up. Maybe Anthony Brown not getting. I think they did a good job. Not that Anthony Brown was. I'm not saying he was lights out today. But better, right? And they kind of found ways to help him a little bit more today as well.
Which is a gift and a curse.
Yeah, fair. It's very fair. It's like there's so many things that we kind of talk about this defense, but again, that's what I don't want to rail on. I'm like, man, these guys give up 17 points today.
Right.
I mean, they give up 17. Like, hey, look, if they give up 17 every single week, there's no reason why we should lose a game.
Right.
Period. And that's the big thing that we banged, man. If you only give up 17 with this offense and you get us a couple of turnovers, it wasn't pretty today. We had to, we had to grind it out, if you will, and get the field goal at the end and win 2017. But again, I find it hard to believe that Eamon's going to keep this offense scoring 20 points each and every week.
Right.
Did you guys notice the difference in how many times we had 2 deep safeties today? It was a big difference from week 1.
Oh, yeah. And that's
part of that is why the middle's wide open. So when you take that extra safety that was playing up in the box and you move him back to deep safety to help out with, maybe Brown or Diggs one-on-one in coverage and not have them one-on-one, it opens up the middle. So I think that's something that it was concerning this week for sure, but I don't think that's something we're going to see every week because we won't have to do that against every team we play.
Right. No, facts. And again, maybe the defense kind of doing some different things depending on who we're playing as well, a little bit differently because they did maybe a little bit too much one-on-one last week, right? And we kind of talked about that, right? They were 62% in man coverage last week,
right?
Not quite as much this week, right?
Right.
So
yeah, that's a pretty big difference.
Now, just to flip over, just to kind of look at and see what the Chargers did. Obviously, Herbert, 31 to 41 for 338, a touchdown, 2 picks. Eckler 9 for 54 with for 6 a carry. Jackson 4 for 21 for 5.2. Obviously, Keenan Allen with a couple of big catches, 4 for 108. Mike Williams 7 for 91 and a touchdown. Anthony Brown, unfortunately, with a bad tackle. But again, even though this was a close game, right? There's 41 attempts, and they ran the ball less than 20 times. Even though there was a point in the second quarter where they were averaging 11.9 yards per carry, and they were down 14-3. Right. So they kind of had to throw it to get back into, but they never really got back into the run style, and that they maybe could have gotten to, looking at the average of what they had. So again, big props to the defense on that front. Even when they did try to run some balls second half, Justin kind of got us. Eckler. They had the penalty against Diggs, hitting him high. I didn't see Eckler come back. Did y'all? Was he out for the rest of the game? I never heard his concussion. Did he? Okay, I didn't really pay attention. So I'm thinking about it. I have to go back and watch.
But I get that point. At Diggs, what are you supposed to do? It wasn't a helmet. He just lowered. It was like I don't know. Man.
And again, when we're talking about inconsistency, Adderley did the exact same thing to Cooper in the end zone.
Right.
Exact same thing. No call. Yeah. That should have been 1st and goal on the 1 yard line.
Right. Yeah, no call whatsoever. So, still some inconsistencies, but the refs are going to ref, right? This was definitely, as I said, man, this was the flag bowl, man. There was penalties amok. Everywhere. Let me get the numbers on the penalties in this game. So, Chargers had 12 for 99. The Cowboys had 8 for 76. My goodness, 20 flags for almost 200 yards combined between the two teams, man. Crazy stuff. But now we get the extra day because we don't play until Monday night. All right. We should have now. We should have Randy Gregory back from the COVID list, so that helps. Look, cross the fingers. The real cross the fingers, let's hope nobody else goes to the COVID list moving forward. Man, getting this win, and let me ask you this. Oh, boy, it just changes the dynamic for Cowboys going into Monday night, right?
Yeah, big time. You never want to go in 0-2 is awful anyways, but in a 17-game season, it's more like 0-1.5. It's not quite as bad as 0-2, but when you're heading into a division game, think about it. If we beat Philly, we are jumped straight into the driver's seat in our division. It's a huge thing. Winning on the road, defeating that streak of not being able to win under 30 points, which Nick, you brought up a lot of times. What was it, 0-18 or something like that?
18. Yeah, it was squashed.
18 straight. So that's gone. That's all gone. So now we're it doesn't matter if we score 20, 15, 30, 40. We're going to beat Philly either way. But it's nice to have that win, get that confidence boost into going into a division game. So, yeah, it's a big swing right there.
Let me ask you this, guys. So I'll spin it this way. I'll start with you, Tuck. Your player of the game. Who you want game ball? Give your game ball to. Who you give your game ball to for this game?
There's a few, but if I'm
there's a few. I'll tell you what. How about this? Three game balls.
I'll pick one. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the easy one. Terrence Steele.
Terrence Steele game ball for Terrence Steele.
I feel like he had the biggest hurdle in front of him, and he stepped up and played tremendously. I think someone posted in the chat, but Bosa had 3 tackles, 0 sacks. It was something else.
Those 4 tackles, 1 sack, 4 hurries. 2 tackles, sack, and 4 hurries. But yeah, still. Yeah, I think he got 1. The one where he was in the middle. Remember, we got 2 Q on second down, and then third down. Yeah, but you could have given it to anyone. Everybody converged on that. It was kind of he should have threw it away. I'm like, shit, he couldn't get out of the pocket.
Right. Yeah, so I'll say for the most part, if I'm gonna give one game ball to Terrence Steele, because he had the biggest challenge, the biggest obstacle, and he stepped up and played well. So I kind of predicted that. Cause I said I just feel like sometimes with Cowboys players when their backs against the wall, that's when they fight better.
Actually, maybe it was the other way. Spoonie, who
Yes, sir.
who you giving your game ball to, brother?
Oh, Michael Parsons.
Okay.
I wanted Steele, but I'm gonna take Michael Parsons for my second guy. Being asked to play the end spot once Law went down, he did a tremendous job.
Yeah.
Listen, the man, it was like we are okay, and we saw a lot of we saw the reasons why they drafted him, and why they're able to do the things they want to do, and allow other guys to step in and play their position. So that's my game ball.
All right, Matt O, who you want to give your game ball to today?
It's tough because I really want to go with KZ for that game-changing interception in the end zone, but it has to be Tony Pollard, man. He broke the game open for us. And when you have a guy like Zeke and you have the weapons we have as receivers, you just can't account for Pollard. Like, he's not a guy that teams are actively game planning. They're like, we know what he can do, but we have so many other weapons. He's not on top of mind right now. Right. So when you have a guy like that who's able to do what he was able to do, that when he shows up, you can see the very best versions of Zeke, because Zeke doesn't have to carry the whole load. Zeke can be fresh, and you can see him be that punisher and closer that we want to see. I mean, Pollard's speed, like some of the plays that he broke open, like that the one on the final drive where he took and broke a tackle, like that's a play that other backs may get 6 or 8 yards on it. It's still a nice gain, but he picks up like 17 or 18 off of it. So yeah, I got to go with Pollard.
Well, I said it.
That's wild thing for Zeke or
closing time. You done? I gotta go that wild. Yeah, we gotta go that wild thing.
Rivera, whatever.
Yeah. I was throwing it on Twitter in the game when you got a touch. I'll see maybe that close of that wild thing. I mean, I'll tell you what. I said it all during the game. I've been saying it for the past 2 weeks. I said it all during preseason. Special teams matter. So you know what? I'm gonna give my game ball to Greg Zuerlein because
good choice.
He knocked the 56-yarder down with all the pressure of the road when it mattered most, and he was pipes.
Was it down the middle? I didn't watch it. It was right.
It was about as close as it can get from 56. Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't like hooking where you had to, that concern for a half second. Like it was pretty good.
Yeah. It started over here. They just hooked on right into the pocket.
It's like a bowler. Exactly.
Like a bowler.
It just hooks at the last second.
And then it just shoot, and then it hooks right in. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Greg the leg kicking pipes, 56 yards for the game winner. So special teams matters. With that being said, man, we know there's a game going on tonight, so we're never gonna let y'all get to that. We just want to kind of hit y'all with this post game. Wednesday night for sure. You can catch me, Professor O, Spoonie, Mary Ella as we deliver the Stargate Live show Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Central. And it'll be on our channel, Stargate Podcast. May hit the YouTube, hit that sub. We'll be getting ready for those Eagles. Jay Tuck, tell where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, you can find me on Cowboys Fans Only on YouTube, and also on my Twitter at jtuck151. And then also you can go to cowboysfansonly.com. Pressure is a privilege, man. But great win. I'm ready though. I'm ready for Eagles week. I didn't want to have this kind of like a trap game, right? So I'm now ready. We got some Eagles shows lined up, so I'm pretty much going to be everywhere, y'all. So y'all know what time it is. Get the trap. It's time to ride, man.
Yeah, check in.
You gonna be at the game, right? On Monday.
Yeah. Listen, it's party time.
It's
party time.
I might just have to bend the old corner and show up. And of course on Twitter, you can look all the tags right there on the screen, man. Come follow us on Twitter as well. Obviously, you got your last word there, Jay Tuck. Spoonie, your last word on the game. He's digging deep. What you got, Spoon?
How about them Cowboys? There you go.
Fair enough.
Let me say one thing, though. I'm sorry, Spoon. Okay. I want to say great job for Cowboys Nation for taking over SoFi, AT&T.
Big time.
Because I heard the coup. I heard it all, man. So shout out to everybody. If you were out there, man, Cali, y'all definitely took over.
They definitely represented. Represented. Professor O, last thoughts on the game before we get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier, and so did you guys, and everybody, I think, at this point has said it. But Terrence Steele, man, I'm going to take my hat off to you because I wasn't expecting you to be that. I thought you'd be a liability the whole game. Get that out of there. Yeah. So, Terrence Steele, man, kudos to you. Great job. Great job.
Same. I'm taking my hat off, too. I'm taking my hat off as well for Mr. Steele. Absolutely. I'm going to take my hat off to Hair's Bad and everything else. And Shane, tell me you get that shirt real quick, Tuck. You said that awesome shirt.
CowboysFansOnly.com. Use code CFO Gang for 10% off, man.
Boom. There it is. All right, guys. Check us on. I mean, we'll be around on social media. Obviously, come mess with us on Twitter, wherever. And then we'll see you next Wednesday for the show. Appreciate y'all, man. Hey, man, 1-1 tomorrow. Line it up, man. Victory Monday on deck. Y'all have a safe night. Breathe. Woosah. Woosah.